Hi there, my name is Stanley Steen from Team Deberoo, and in this video we are going to review the native ads site of ClickAdilla. So let's dive in.
This video is brought to you by Deberoo.com, the #1 affiliate marketing software platform.
Alright, here we are at the homepage of ClickAdilla, and today we are going to review their platform and we are going to create a native ads campaign. But before we dive in on the back end and the dashboard of ClickAdilla, first let's take a look at their homepage and see if we can get some information on the different ad formats that they have available, as well as maybe some specific geos that they have good traffic for, and perhaps even some verticals in which they specialize on with their traffic. So a lot to discuss. Let's dive straight in. All right, so next generation self-service network, and right here we have our ad formats. So we have pop under, push, banner, mobile, and native traffic. All right, perfect. Let's see if we can get some more insights, detailed statistics, smart pricing, qualified managers, various tracking solutions, fast and easy start, and exclusive traffic sources. Right here we have the ad formats once again. So we have web push, so the in-page push basically, not the classic push. Pop under, in-stream, banner ads, and native ads, right? And we can already see they have about 150 million impressions, probably daily. RTB, real-time bidding. All right. Cool. Let's see if we can get some more information on the advertiser's side. What are the benefits? All right. Targeting options, campaign options, ad formats. Once again, perfect. Top traffic geos with minimum bids. All right. So we have the CPC bids right here of all these different ad formats and the countries, the top traffic geos, right? So for native ads, the top traffic geos include India, Mexico, United States, France, Germany, Japan, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, and MA. I'm not quite sure which country that is. And behind that we see the CPCs, the minimum CPC bids, cost per click. We can also switch it over to CPM. Oh, that's only going to change for web push. All right, so for native, they probably only have the either the CPC or CPM. I don't know exactly, but we'll see on the inside. Advertising solutions for all client segments. All right, how do I start? Perfect. All right, let's just go to the inside of ClickAdilla, to their dashboard, and we are going to create a native ads campaign and see how far we can get. All right. So here we are in the dashboard, and on the left we have the menu, and we're going to go to campaigns, and we are going to create a campaign. All right. First things first, we want to give our campaign a name. So I'm just going to call it Deberoo, but I recommend you to give it a name with which you are able to recognize which campaign it is. So it might be helpful to include the geo and or the offer name, and perhaps even the affiliate network name if you work with multiple affiliate networks. Then we also have the option to group our campaigns. All right, so this is very useful. For example, if you want to group different campaigns of the same offer, you know, maybe you are promoting one offer on native and on push as well, for example, then it might be useful to group these campaigns. Or maybe you want to group your campaigns based on vertical or on affiliate network. So you have these options. Simply just click on the plus sign to create a new group, give it a name, and then we're all good to go, and you can select the group right here. Automatically activate this campaign as soon as an administrator approves it. So when this is turned on, your campaign will go live as soon as your ads are approved. And if you turn this off, it will be paused, waiting for you to activate the campaign once you're ready. All right, then we have the different ad formats. So let's see, pop under, banner, a lot of banner in different sizes. Then we have the web push, video/in-stream, native ads, that's what we're going to focus on. Tab, direct link, full page desktop interstitial, mobile interstitial, iOS calendar, which is a pretty new ad format, quite interesting. Gallery, and in-page/sticky. All right. Cool, so we have selected native. Ad placement. So we have the regular native ads and we have the in-app native ads. All right, which is quite nice that they have these two options. I'm going to start with native ads, but as soon as I see that there's traction and I have optimized my campaign a bit, I might want to include in-app native as well as soon as I want to start scaling. All right, but we're going to start with the regular native ads. Cool, then we have the option between CPM and CPC. So CPM standing for cost per mile, which basically means that you're paying for 1,000 impressions, the price for 1,000 impressions. And CPC is the cost per click, so the price you pay per click, per user that clicks on your link. If you are a more experienced affiliate, if you have done some campaigns before, then you might want to run on CPC since it might give you a little bit extra profit. However, if you are a beginner in the affiliate marketing world, if you don't have much experience yet and you don't know exactly how to approach a CPC campaign, then go with the CPM format. It's more user-friendly, more beginner-friendly, definitely. All right, then we have the price. So the price is hard to tell since we haven't selected our geo yet, right? So it's going to depend very much on which geo you want to promote in. But we do get some stats right here. The price box, available daily traffic, 213 million. Minimum price of 1/10 of a cent. Maximum price, $10. Recommended price is also 1/10 of a cent. But we are probably have to increase the recommended / minimum price since we're going to promote in the United States, right? That was one of the top geos in their traffic, so I've decided we're going to focus on the United States. So in that case, we probably want to go up from this minimum price / recommended price. But maybe if we select a geo later, it will automatically adjust. For now, let's just do the recommended price and we'll go back as soon as we have selected our geo. Then select an ad. So no available data because we haven't created an ad yet. So we want to press create new ad. Okay. First things first, we want to give our ad a name. This is just for the backend. So just give it a name which will help you to recognize which ad it is. So maybe get the offer name in there as well. But of course, you probably want to make more ads for the same campaign later on. So also make sure you're able to differentiate these two different ads, all right? Or multiple ads, since you can add multiple to one. So first give it a name. I'm just going to call it Deberoo. Then the common URL. So this is just going to be your campaign URL, right? So I'm just going to do Deberoo for now. But obviously you want your campaign URL in here. Then we have the title. So we don't know how many characters we have. It's not stated anywhere. But just type in your headline that you want to use. And then right here we have the URL. So once again, paste in your campaign URL. I'm going to do Deberoo, otherwise it doesn't work. But paste in your campaign URL right here. And then we have the image. So we don't have any recommendations on size. So let's just pick an image from Google, google.com or Google for Google. And then let's go to images. I'm just going to download something. Let's do this one since it's squared. So it's probably not going to be squared. Well, there are options to have a squared image on native, but it's not quite common. So let's see what happens if we now upload this image that we have just downloaded. Can we drag it in? Can't find it there. All right, perfect. Okay, so we are able to do squared. We can actually put the dimensions the way we want it. But the only thing that I'm curious about, is this going to mess with the ads? All right. So if it doesn't fit the way that we crop it, is it going to resize it or not? That's kind of a question that I have, because we are able to do this, but this obviously won't give us a lot of good results. Okay. So let's just do this. Let's just press done. Right. So now we have this squared image. I wonder how this is going to look on the ad itself. I rather have a native ads platform tell me which dimensions are best for their platform so that I can make sure that I give them the image in the right dimensions so that I know that the quality of the image will stay the same. All right, that's what I usually like. That's not the case with ClickAdilla. They don't give you any dimensions. So they do give you the option to crop it, but even in their cropping tool, there's no dimensions that are preferred or anything. So yeah, I prefer to have a size, but that's fine. All right, so when we want to add multiple ads, just press this plus sign and you'll get a new tab of this, and you can do the same thing over. And once you're done, simply press save. All right, so now our ad should be saved and it should show up here, which it doesn't. All right, let's try this one more time, all right? Deberoo.com. Let me copy this, gonna need it here as well, and Deberoo. All right, let's get that image in again. That's fine. Let's just do this one. All good. Okay, done. Perfect. Let's save this. Let's see if it works. At least one image is required. It's still uploading, that's why. Perfect, save it. Okay, so now it's here. Perfect. All right, and then we have the campaign active from and campaign active to options. So this is the start and end date of your campaign. I usually don't work with an end date because I am going to end my campaign depending very much on the data. All right, so if there's a lot of traction in the campaign, I don't want to kill it yet. But if I see, okay, there's no more traction, then I'm going to kill my campaign no matter what date or no matter how long my campaign has been running. All right, the active from, so you can use that if you want to start on a specific date, but let's just leave it blank for now. Select categories. So we have the adult filter. So if you have an adult offer, obviously you want to use adult traffic as well. Otherwise you will get banned pretty quickly, or not banned, but at least it won't get approved to run adult offers on the classic sources, of course. And then we also have arts and entertainment, which is quite interesting. So perhaps they have some very good placements for arts and entertainment offers since they have this specific box for it. But we're just going to select all for now. Let's continue. All right, so here we have the targeting options. So we can do it manual or with IP ranges. So we can select specific ranges that we want to target, but let's just do it the manual way. And we said we wanted to focus on the United States of America. So let's add the United States of America. It's in there. Let's see if our price box changes. The minimum price might stay the same, but as you can see, the recommended price indeed changed from 1/10 of a cent to 10 cents. All right. So by knowing that we have our geo in there, the United States of America, and by knowing the recommended price is now 10 cents, we need to go back to general and adjust our bid. So we're going to set the new recommended price, which is 10 cents. And I'm going to up that with 1/10 of a cent actually. So 1/10 of a cent above the recommended price. That's what I'm going to go with for now. All right. So we have adjusted our bid. Perfect. And let's see. Look at that. The available daily traffic with our current geo in there is 25.2 million. And the selected traffic is 25.2 million as well. So we have a huge reach, but of course we aren't done with the targeting yet. So we can focus on specific regions as well. So in this case, the states. All right, so if we add California, now we only target California, and that will get our traffic down as well to not available. Okay, so let's delete California again. So we're just gonna run the complete United States of America. Then we have the connection type. So all types, LAN, which is with a cable, and Wi-Fi or mobile carriers. So what I always like to do with my campaigns is start out with all the types, and then as soon as I have specific data that tells me that LAN and Wi-Fi, for example, performs worse than mobile carrier, then I start optimizing on it, but not from the start of the campaign. And the same actually goes, not the same for device type. So device type, I'm going to start with, let's say, mobile only. And then perhaps later I want to add multiple if I have optimized my campaign a bit and I want to scale it to different devices. Device vendor, all right, so this is basically the brand of the mobile phone that the user is using. And this is one of the things that I like to keep on all at the start as well, until I have sufficient data that tells me I should target specific device vendors. All right. Then we have the browsers. Same thing here. Specific browsers that you want to target on. I'm going to wait until I have sufficient data that tells me I can start targeting specific browsers. All right. Do we also have browser version in here? No. So we do not have the option to browser version targeting. It's very specific, so you won't use it in every campaign. However, if your data tells you that a specific type of browser version isn't performing well and wasting your money, then you might want to have that option to deselect that specific browser version. Like I said, it's definitely not going to be for every campaign, and you need quite some data before we can tell specifics on browser versions. However, it is nice to have that option, and that doesn't seem to be here, but that's fine. Next up is language. So I'm going to set it on English since my ads in a campaign in the United States are most likely going to be English. And if somebody has a different browser language set, then I'm afraid that they don't speak English. Perhaps they do, but the chances are that they don't. So I'm going to select English as my browser language targeting. Then we have the operating systems right here, so we can target on those as well. But once again, we don't have the operating system version. So if I select iOS, fine, but I cannot select which specific iOS versions I want to target. Same thing as with the browsers. You might not use it with every campaign. It's not something that's standard in the optimization. However, if you have sufficient data to tell you you want to target specific versions of the operating systems, then it seems like you do not have the option to do so inside of ClickAdilla. All right, next up is the IP2 location types. All right, so commercial organization. This is probably the type of location that the IP address is connected to. So commercial, organization, governmental, military, educational, library, CDN, fixed ISP, mobile ISP, etc., etc. All right. I haven't seen this option quite a lot inside of these different traffic sources, but it's a nice feature. I don't know how much I would use it personally, and still you probably need some data to tell which of these are performing well for your campaign and which are not, because even though it's a military or a governmental institute, then it's still people that work there that might be on their break browsing through internet and finding your ad and thinking, hey, this might be something that I want to use, all right? So I still need some data to optimize on this. However, it's very hard to receive data on what kind of property is linked to that IP address, right? So usually trackers don't really include that information, so it's very hard to target on this, but it's nice to have the option, right? Especially if you have very specific offers that you want to run to very specific locations as well. We're gonna leave it blank for now. Let's press continue. All right, so here we have the run on network or premium placements. All right, and we can see the placements right here. So these are part of the premium placements. And if you do a run on network, of course, you have all the placements of ClickAdilla. Let's see what it does in terms of the available daily traffic. So with all the traffic, it's about, well, 12.2 million. With the premium placements, let's see what happens to that reach. it goes down about 1 million. So the majority of the traffic is inside the premium list. So we're just going to do a run on network. All right. And then we're going to see if we can create our own whitelist or blacklist. We're just going to see how the quality of the traffic is, etc., etc. And then once you have run some campaigns, or maybe you received a whitelist or a blacklist from ClickAdilla or from somebody else, or you build one, then you can add it right here. All right. So you have to create one first, it seems like. All right. So you have to create one first, and then as soon as you have created your blacklist or whitelist, you can select it right here. And of course, don't forget to select whether it's a blacklist or whitelist, because if you enter a whitelist and you select it as blacklist, then things can go wrong pretty quickly. All right. Cool. Next up, limit type. All right, so now we're going to set our limits for the campaign, and we can do so based on money or based on impressions. Usually I use the money feature. It's the most common feature for your limits. Almost every traffic source has a money limit type where you can select the limits in terms of money. You might want to do it based on impressions, but like I said, the standard is kind of money. All right, we can set an hourly limit, which is quite nice. We can set a daily limit, and we can set a total limit. All right, so for the daily limit, I recommend you to use it. I'm going to set it on 250. The hourly limit, you could say, okay, let's make this for an easy calculation in 240 daily limit. You could say I'm going to set an hourly limit of $10. It's the same effect, all right? Yes and no, because the hourly limit is a limit on every hour, meaning that in the middle of the night there might not be that much traffic, so it might only spend $4, for example. But then later on, when there is more traffic, it will not go over that 10. All right, so it will not spend your complete daily budget if there isn't enough traffic available during the night, for example, or at least one of the hours during the day. Where with a daily limit, if it doesn't get spent during the night, it will get spent during the day. All right, so it will try to spend your complete daily limit every day, no matter the hours. Where with the hourly limit, it's a limit on every hour. So if it doesn't reach that limit on a certain day, it's not going to compensate that with that later on during the day. Okay, so that's the difference between these two as set up right now. So I'm going to use the daily limit only, and I'm going to set it on 250. We can also set a total campaign limit if you want. I'm not too concerned about it, but if you have a limit for this campaign, obviously use the total limit as well. Otherwise, it will keep spending your daily budget every single day and there's no end. And with a total budget, total limit, you will set that limit to a certain extent. Then we have the calendar limits. So right here we can select which days and specifically which hours we do or do not want to run. But apart from that, there's an extra option inside of ClickAdilla. So right now, as you see it right now, it basically means run 24/7. No matter the day, no matter the hour, just run as much traffic through it as you can. Okay? So if we click on these 3 hours, for example, we can select full traffic, which is what we have right now. We can select no traffic, right? If it's proven not to convert within those hours, we can say, okay, we do not want to run any more traffic. So then the limit is 0, right? Or we can do custom, which is quite nice. So we can set a limit for specific hours. So for example, if we want to do the distribution of our daily budget a little bit different, we can use this system to, for example, spend less during the night and to spend more during the day, or the other way around, whatever you want data for, right? So it's a very nice extra feature on the calendar where you can specifically say whether you want to run or not, but also if you want to run on that specific hour or that specific day, you can also say how much do you want to run. So basically you're distributing the traffic that you're gonna get into these specific hours, which is quite Nice. Okay, so how does that work? Like I did, just select 1 hour or multiple hours that you want to have. So right now we have 4 hours. Let's say I do not want to spend more than $10 per hour on these 4 hours. Then I'm going to set it on 40. Oh, so that's per hour. So if you want $10 per hour, it would be $10 limit per hour. And there you go. So now we have a $10 limit on these hours and the rest is still full. So in terms of our daily budget, it will spend, well, in this case, about the same, but less on these hours and then a little bit more on the rest of the hours because the daily limit hasn't changed. Okay. So if you are decreasing the amount of traffic and specific hours, for example, like this, that means that it will still try to spend your daily budget throughout the whole day. So what it will do, it will spend a little bit more on all the other hours to compensate for these 4 hours that you're going to spend less. If you have set limits on every hour of the day, for example, like this, if you do it like this, obviously it will not spend your daily budget because the full day has limits on every single hour of $5 per hour. So that way it will never reach your daily budget. Okay, so keep that in mind when you use this calendar. It's not only turn on and turn off, you can also set specific limits. But if your full day is set with specific limits, it might not reach your daily budget. Okay, just keep that in mind. Very, very important. So right now it's selected 24/7, doesn't matter, no limits except from the daily limit. Okay, so that is basically it. We're done with all the setup, and that means we can click on Create Campaign, and we are done. There we go. The campaign has been created. Now the administration team of ClickAdilla will review our ads, and as soon as it will get reviewed, it will go live or it will go to pause, depending on your settings, of course. Or maybe you have set a start date, then it will wait for that start date and then go live. But at least as soon as the ads have been created, we're ready to launch the campaign. All right, so that is going to be it for this video. A couple of key takeaways from the ClickAdilla platform. Okay, so a very nice platform with very good insights in the amount of traffic available, the recommended bids. Keep note though that your recommended bid will show up before you have even selected your geo. So make sure that when you select your geo, go back to the bidding to see if your bid is still holding up inside that specific geo, because obviously prices are going to be different for specific geos. In terms of the targeting, quite a lot of targeting options, very nice targeting options when it comes down to the scheduling, the day and time scheduling. However, we also miss some very specific targeting, all right? You might not miss it for every campaign, but it might be nice to have in case you do need to optimize on those specific things. For example, the browser version or the operating system version, all right? Very detailed, specific targeting, which are not available inside of ClickAdilla. But like I said, you won't use it on every campaign. It's a very detailed targeting. So you could probably do without. However, it might be nice to have that option, okay? Then also it seems that ClickAdilla has quite some adult traffic, it seemed like, and then they also have this specific filter for arts and entertainment. So they probably have some good results on those kind of verticals as well. All right. So overall, pretty nice platform. One last thing that I did not like that much about ClickAdilla is the image upload. So we don't have any recommended dimensions, and also in their cropping system, we can move around these dimensions ourselves. Which seems very nice. However, the downside of it is that when it needs to fit in a specific placement, in a specific ad on a website, then they might have to crop it again. And this way, when they crop it again, we cannot ensure the quality of our image, because when you crop a square image into a rectangle, it will not look as nice as when we do it ourselves, knowing that it needs to become a rectangle. All right. So that is one little downside of ClickAdilla, but other than that, it's a pretty nice platform, clear, nicely structured. So All good. So that's going to be it for this one, but of course there is more to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and then I will catch you next time. Until then, peace out.
This video is brought to you by Deberoo.com, the #1 affiliate marketing software platform.